Really excited to bring to you a conversation that I had with Frédéric, or Fred, who is the creator of the PureBasic language. Now, PureBasic has been around for quite some time, since 1998, and was really a staple of the bedroom coder scene, or the indie scene, before, well, that scene really existed in some ways. I mean, it came from a true sort of hacker culture and the Amiga basic programmers, as you'll find out throughout this conversation. Now, what's really cool about PureBasic is just how awesome of a tool, how easy it is to use. I remember using it long ago when I was first learning how to program, and even revisiting it today to see how it's progressively gotten better and better. And Fred's also very generous in the sense that once you buy PureBasic, you get a lifetime model for it. So if you bought PureBasic in 2000, you're still getting lifetime free updates, which is really, really rare. And I think that's something that should be supported in the software world. So anyways, that's just my opinion, but I know I had a great conversation with Fred, and I hope you'll listen and enjoy as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation with Fred of PureBasic. Pleasure and honor today to have with me Frédéric, or known as Fred, who is the creator and maintainer of the PureBasic language. And Fred, you know, I've been using, or first heard of PureBasic rather, as early as 2004. So this is really exciting. Somebody who is just starting their programming journey to get to speak with you. So thanks again for being here.
Hi, Mike, and thank you to having me with you. And let's start.
Yeah, great. So, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about PureBasic, get some of the history, the language. But can you tell me about the first program that you remember writing?
Yeah, I guess it was a database-like program, a small one, you know, for personal collection, like timber or anything you want to collect. It will be Pokemon card, I guess, nowadays, but it was not existing back in the day. But it was a small program like this when you could manage a small collection. And it was, of course, of Amiga, because I was fan of this computer back in the days, and I learned all my programming skill with another basic, which was BasicBasic, which was written by Mark Sibly, which died last year. So would like as well to make a small commemoration for him. And then all this stuff was growing up, and my first program was this one, and then I progress and learn more BasicBasic, then with a few games and another small program. And then when the Amiga was dying as well, I forked it BasicBasic, and then try to write my own basic, and then it's PureBasic, which is mostly based on BasicBasic. So just to make it simple, it's most like an enhanced BasicBasic at the time, and then we got different ways with Mark Sibly mostly concentrate on gaming side of the basic, and for me it was more like application side, bit gaming side, but not that much. And nowadays, PureBasic is covering a lot of areas, including 3 days, 2 days, because 20 years later, of course, you have time to do more. So that's it for the small introduction.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, I'll also throw out a condolence for Mark Sibly, as he was very influential and just getting lots of folks to program.
I think there is a lot of programmers which owe him their career and the passion for this, because the tools he wrote was very easy to grab on, and easy to build something in it and get some cool result. So I guess when you have such tools, it's like toys, you can play with it and grow up in the programming world. But yeah, it's very, very important to make a strong note for him.
Yeah, and during your time in those early days when you were programming, you know, on the Amiga or with BasicBasic, did you have contact with others like Mark Sibly, or even as you were forking the language and sort of developing?
Yeah, we got in touch a few times, but only by mail. I didn't meet him, but yeah, we were sharing a few stuff together, but not that much, to be honest. But yeah, we got in touch, of course, because he heard of PureBasic, and then as it was clearly based on BlissBasic, so yeah, we got in touch.
Yeah, very cool. At least from my perspective, as somebody who was just a user of languages, like at the time BlitzBasic, PureBasic, DarkBasic, to hear about where you folks were intersecting is just so cool to me, to have that history.
Yeah, there was a time where a lot of PureBasic user was writing DarkBasic DLL or something to enhance one on other language. So it was interconnected at time, yes, for sure.
Yeah, very cool. So just going back in your history a little bit, did you learn programming by teaching yourself? Was there school? Did somebody, help you? How did you kind of pick up programming?
Yeah, at first it was all by myself. And then, of course, I've took course in this sector because I knew already all the stuff. So it was easy for me to pick up the right school. But at first it was all by myself and with the BlissBasic Programming Manual, which was a big book. When you booked the BlissBasic program, you have a big box with a big book. I still have it, but and you have 4 floppy disks, I think, something like this. You had to install on your Amiga, and then you can start coding. And all was very well explained for the very beginners, so you could learn from it. And if you want to explore the stuff, it was easy only by the example, looking at it, testing, and then incrementing like this. And it was not that hard, but I was young at days. It's of course easier when you have you want to learn and you have a lot of time, and it's good. It's a good start, I guess, when you are in the tens or like this, to start programming at all. And then, of course, during all my studies, I learned other language like C, C++, assembly. So yeah, after it was better for me to learn the real way of coding, if you want to. And I still learning today. It's now in C# and in Java as well, a bit. Mostly in C#.
Very cool, very cool. I'll be curious about that because, as well as PureBasic, I do want to touch on SpiderBasic and hear about some of your influences. But just going back to your early days, I mean, how fun was it back in the day to get one of those, programming books when you bought the floppy or the CD, and just learn from their programming manual?
Yeah, but yeah, it was very, very, very fun. I got some strong memories for this, and sharing with my dad as well, because he was very, very curious. It was not into it, but he was curious of what I was achieving. And then quickly enough, I start to sell the small program I did. At time you could share it on cover disc of a magazine, So you bought the magazine, and then you have a CD with all the demo program of a lot of people, and then you could contact them and buy the full version. So there was a 2 program as was selling, very, very few volumes, of course, maybe 1 by month or something like this. But it was entertaining because I could see there is some people which was actually interested in such a small program. So it was a good way to get into the commercial aspect of the programming world. So yeah. So all the begin like this with the shareware, which is not very common right now. It's it's a bit lost all the shareware stuff, but back in the day it was like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think was that a sort of aha moment you had early in your programming career? I mean, seeing the ability to create software and just, I mean, I remember folks putting floppy disks in Ziploc bags and handling, just the ease at which you could distribute a useful thing. Or did you have other kind of aha moments that said, this is my career path. I love programming.
Yeah, I think uh, it was mostly when I wrote games because I loved video games and I still play a lot. It's my hobby, and when I started to write game, because PureBasic was very game oriented. All the selling point was because they made some great games with the language, like Skid Marks, I think, or some other Amiga games, which was cool. And so yeah, when I got my game running and I could move the sprites, get the background, get some interaction with it, it was very cool to see. And when you see all the blocks putting together and finally working, it's always a good. But even now, I still have this moment when I program and spend a lot of time on something and then it works. It's still bit like a magic someone. So yeah, I still love what I do. It's a cool stuff to be able to build some programs.
It still remains magic to me, this idea of being able to build anything, from typing in text. I get aha moments, and I can see, just in your discussion in your eyes that
Yeah.
how much fun it still is for you too.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
it's cool. Yeah.
So before, developing PureBasic, were you working at some company after, say, university, or what was sort of your path prior to PureBasic?
PureBasic was done very early. It wasn't even in high school when I got the first version out. So all this was before the school. So after I tried to make it more appealing to be able to sell a bit. But at first, it was a pet project, like everyone other pet project, and I was only interested to learn assembly and to get something easy to write but fast to run. So that was the motto, if you want to try to get the power of both sides. So easy to write but fast to run, and it was what drove me. And then after my high school, I think it was maybe PureBasic 2.0 on Windows. So it was very early. When I look at it, it was just a garbage. But at least you could write a few stuff with it, which was a good fun. And then I got a job for 2 years, so not much time to work on PureBasic. And then I really started to work on it on 2002. When I left this first job and I got enough money to be able to live without a job, because I was young and I didn't spend anything. So just the strict minimal, and I got a lot of time to improve PureBasic, and then it started like this. And of course, when the product is better, you sell more as well. So it's a virtuous circle.
That's a good advice. As somebody who teaches, I always tell my students, live, save your money, live like a college student, and as long as you can, because then you can pursue.
Yeah, it's a very important part of your life when you have the time, you are young, you are full of idea, and then you can realize it. After, it's a bit different because you have family, you need money to pay bills. and it's not much. It's much harder for me to make improvement to PureBasic that it was back in the day. But the good news, it's the product is mature enough to be managed incrementally for now, and to still be appealing, because all the major stuff are here and still working indeed. So yeah, but the time you got when you have a lot of time, you don't sleep a lot at night, and the day are very, very long. Yeah, it's when you do a lot of progress for your project. I think for any project, it could be programming, but it could be anything else. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And the early versions of PureBasic 2, did that really shape what we see in the modern version of PureBasic? I mean, was it a full compiler? Was it targeting multiple operating systems, even in the early versions?
Yeah. Because the fact in the Amiga version already, so PureBasic 1 dot something, I was targeting two stuff already. So because on Amiga you had one processor, which was the Motorola 68 something, and then you have the PowerPC from IBM, and it was two different processors. So the compiler has built with this in mind already to target two assembly, which was very different at time. So when I moved to Windows, it was another processor, x86, and then I just wrote a new backend for the compiler, but all the stuff was there to get there quickly enough. 1 year of development, but yeah. But it was there, and then it was relatively easy to get on Linux because it was the same processor, different API, but still the same processor, which is the major blocking point when you are writing a compiler which use assembly. And we could talk about this later, but right now there is a C backend for PureBasic, so it's much easier to port on new processor, of course, because all the hard work is done by the C compiler. So yeah, but at time using a C compiler was way too slow, and now it's completely different because the computer is much more powerful. So you need to go by the assembly route. So it was like this, and then PureBasic 2, yes, targeted almost immediately. I guess 1 year after Windows, it was Linux, and then OS X was not far behind with another processor. It was a PowerPC as well. So I get back all the work I done from the Amiga version and port it on the macOS version with another API and all the stuff. But yeah, so at time I got a lot of processor, and then there was the new x64 in 2008, something like this, I think. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff to do, but I was mixing between improving the compiler and improving the command set, because the command set in PureBasic is a very important part of the language, because it's all the blocks you can use to easily build what you want to build, and it was equally important for me. So the compiler was not very powerful at first, but it grew over time, and I think right now it's quite okay.
Something that's always impressed me with PureBasic, and I think you've touched on this, was the speed at which the language built compiled code, whether that was generating assembly, using assembly within the language, or now, as you said, you have a C backend as well, which can compile to just as fast code.
Yeah.
that really made it stand out amongst basic languages, which had a maybe reputation for, just because they had basic in the name, couldn't do fast code for some reason. I mean,
Yeah.
is that something you've had to sort of break the misconception and teach people with PureBasic, that you have all the building blocks and you can write just as great code with this? How's that sort of journey been along the evolution of PureBasic?
Yeah, I think it's a question which is coming back often. Why I choose the basic name? Because you got a language which is as fast as a C1, if you mind. But I think if I choose another name without the basic name, I couldn't find my audience, I think, because it's very, very difficult to get a place when there is a lot of language which are done every day. And even at time there was a lot of it. I think it was the plan to get a community which is already built, and to get into it, and then propose something close, but which can as well improve all the basic features to build modern application, because the goal is to write an application when you cannot say it's written in BASIC. It's natively supported by all those OS with a native API and all like this. So it could very, very well be written in C or C++. It will be exactly the same output, but you write it in BASIC, and you have the access with easy commands, easy block buildings, all tested command set, and common documentation as well, because all the libraries which are in the command set are always using the same syntax, the same way of accessing objects, the same way of managing, the same naming. All this makes your life much easier, that get one library for C and another one written by another company, and all the API doesn't match. So it's much more complicated to get something running. But yeah, the fact it runs at full speed, it's not easy to talk about it, because you get this basic brand on your language. So it's a plus, but nobody will think that a basic is actually as fast that another professional language like C or C++. And but it's not my major selling point. I think I always wanted to do something to be accessible for anyone to start coding, like I did when I was young. It's the main objective of PureBasic, is to get you into programming, and to grip you into programming, as you can do some cool stuff easily. So with a few lines, you can open a screen, display a sprite, or open a window and put some buttons and click on it, and it's really a few lines. It's like 10 lines that you got something running, which is cool looking. So yeah, and it works on all supported operating systems. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really, I'll try to sell the audience on this, just because I think what you've captured there is that spirit of BASIC with the language, where, as you said, you could just a few lines of code see buttons and menus and graphics, and that's really satisfying. But the one thing that I've always really loved about PureBasic is that, and I think I said this in my first impressions video, is had I found PureBasic and stuck with it early, I think I would have been a better programmer, because it is a language that can scale. There are low-level features with pointers and memory management and things that folks would say is, I'll put in quotations, real programming. But real programming is thinking algorithmically,
using
data
the
structures.
underlying API and all the
Yeah.
it's more complicated than just using the building blocks. But yeah, I get what you say.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see why folks wouldn't just use the right tool. And that's part of this discussion, and I guess my purpose to tell folks, use the right tool, and PureBasic's an excellent tool.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people using PureBasic to write a commercial application, and it's cool. It's not a tool which is not capable of writing commercial application. So I got a lot of people which are actually in touch to get improvement or such site because they need it for their commercial stuff. And there is no problem for me to do some improvements here and here to make them happy and so they can continue working and continue. But you cannot really be blocked in PureBasic because as you said, you can always work around the stuff using the underlying API or something like this. So unless there is a major blocking point in the compiler because it's generating wrong code, like it can happen. This stuff I try to fix them quickly. But all the other bugs which can be around, you always can manage to work around it with a few API call or something like this. If a command is not perfect, yeah, you can easily. I think when you are professional, you can do it easily. So yeah.
So how cool is it? As you said, I mean, maybe this is a testament to PureBasic and the longevity, but I'll occasionally browse the forums still and go into the showcase and the works in progress and see the real tools that people are building for commercial applications or publishing games and so on. What's that feel like on your end to see people building awesome software? And
it's always satisfying. It's one of the most rewarding stuff you can get when you see someone else using your tools to do something even better. So it's good. It's something you have some success in it. So yeah, I see a few Steam games which are just going well, so that's cool. Yes, to see that. I know some industrial application as well, which is performing very, very well, much better than me. They are making big bucks with it. So yeah, that's great. But I think that's one of the stuff which push me to continue on this side and still supporting PureBasic on a new operating system like the new Windows, with the IRM 64, which is quite niche right now, but you need to support it if you want to. And then, I think I will do that for a long time still, because there is the.
And when you see users, building games and cool applications or for different platforms, does that influence feature sets or
of course
areas of
I always do new commands based on the feedback I get, because I don't build game myself. I don't build application anymore myself, so I don't really know what is missing. I can see that you need a window, you need a button, but after that I don't see exactly what is needing. So there is on the forum, as you say, there is a big section which is called feature and wish list, and then you can put your post there, and I read everything. I upgrade my to-do list, and then I got as well mail from my biggest customer, if you want to say like this, as they want a special feature. So yeah, it's improving like this. I don't often do something by myself anymore. So all the new stuff which is put into PureBasic has its roots somewhere else. It's not from my head only. And I guess it's a good way to do it because at least it will be useful for at least one person. So yeah.
Yeah,
because it
that's
takes time to do a new command for all the operating system. It's so I cannot do something which is useless. It will be a waste of time. And
yeah, that's really cool. I mean, to see this sort of feedback loop, and again, just how long you've been able to work on the language and keep improving it. When you're first kind of designing PureBasic, or even now as you're sort of continuing to evolve the language, are there influences now that you look at for PureBasic as far as either language features or library sets that you're thinking about for evolving the language, or even in the past, did you have strong influences of how to
yes,
sort of build the language?
C was always a big influence, of course. It's very close on is from to C, and I guess all that I do as a daily job as well, I'm learning new stuff, and I somewhere including them small by small in PureBasic because I see that some stuff are cool and it's a great idea. So I take, of course, idea from everything I can. So yeah, and still being a programmer in a big company allow me to continue to be cutting edge on other language and not only on my own, where I could be a bit limited, if you only like this. So yeah, of course, there is a strong, but I guess it's the same for all programming language. They took part from there and from them, and that's how you get to new language like Rust or Go or something like this, which is some of hybrid language between a lot of concepts which are already there but not put together. So, and
Yeah,
that's cool
something.
to see. There is still new language appearing. It's something which is intriguing because you could see already is already done. Everything is already done, but it's not the case. There is always something else to create and always something new to do, and it's very healthy to see that.
Yeah, we really are in one of the best careers, and tomorrow is always sort of the best day to keep working on something new and exciting. So I totally agree. It's great to see other languages and languages that are here still continue to evolve. It's super amazing. Something that caught my attention revisiting PureBasic. Two things that I really loved. One was the sort of type annotations, or doing like .s for short type. Where did that come from? Because that's just a really
PureBasic. It's it's the PureBasic way to do it. So it's just the same here, and it's pretty unique because I don't know why Mark did that like this, because it was not seen anywhere, I think. But I just copied that, and it stayed from the early days because it's a core feature, so you cannot change it. If I was to do it again, I think I will be something more common, like in C# or something like this, with a separate type and something else. But this one is okay with me as well. It's allow short typing, and it's good to build a quick program like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I really.
I'm now a bit quite limited about the notation because I wanted to introduce new types, and the one letter stuff is a bit limiting, So no, there is some type with two letters. Well, there is only 26 letters. So
I see. I see. Yeah, I guess that is kind of a limit, but but it's something I saw and I said, why aren't more languages kind of stealing this? Because it seems like it would also make the tooling and parsing of the language and all these sort of things just kind of easy if the type's just right there. So I hope other folks learn from you in this lineage, perhaps of Blitz Basic and PureBasic, and find ways to do neat stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The other thing I discovered that I really liked was the amount of, profilers that were built into the language. You can just pop open in your code the visual profiler or the memory profiler. Had you seen this in other languages, or where did this idea come for the feature?
Before I worked a lot with Visual C 6 at time. And it was a very good idea as well. You got the memory stuff, you got the assembly register stuff as well. So I copy a lot of stuff from this, and then we did some stuff which is very PureBasic specific, like digging into the library which are already in use, so you can see all the objects of every libraries you are using with all the information. If there is an image, you can see the image in memory. You can see the size. You can see all the stuff like this. So this one is very specific to PureBasic. And another stuff we did, and I don't see there is other language which are actually doing that, is the debugger, which is including a pre-routine for every function to check all the parameter you put in this, and it can validate all the parameter you can put. And this one is only in debug mode, and you can get a lot of information about what you did wrong when you call the function. And it's not only an exception letter because it was null pointer. It's something which is pre-parsing the call, and then if something is wrong with the parameter, you get a clear error message that you are out of bound or something like this. But before there is the real call. So this one I think is very useful, and I didn't see it anywhere else. So yeah, and for the profiler or the purifier is some tools which are very useful, but I needed to write them because PureBasic doesn't use the standard ways to build objects. So we cannot plug something external like OProfile or Purifier or Boon Checker or every other tool which are working with the C or C++ code are not working with PureBasic. So we needed someone to have something equivalent, but we reworked it especially for PureBasic. So yeah, you get all the tooling in the single IDE because we cannot use external one as well. So it's a bit, but yeah, it took time, but we got there, and it's very full feature for a small package, I guess.
Yeah, it's very cool, and as somebody who designs or sort of studies languages in my free time, it's a feature I would think about adding at the very start, because it's just a cool thing that I haven't seen, and I don't know why more languages aren't. I guess some of that comes in the tooling support in other languages, but having it built in, you can think of all sorts of great use cases for it. So it's very cool.
Yeah, and let me mention as well that I was not alone to do that, all this stuff. A lot of people helped from time to time, and I would like to thank Timo Frick from the forum, which has built all the debugger in a PureBasic. So it has access to all the PureBasic sources since a while, since 20 years now, and he was a great help for me. Because he's very smart, and he found a great way to include a full feature console debugger, remote debugger, IDE debugger. He wrote the idea as well. So I was not alone in this, and it's very important to mention that there is a lot of people as well which are helping for the 3D side, for the 2D side as well. So it's like common work with all the great forces which are on the forums, and it's always a great journey to have some help from different people. One in German, another one is Belgium, another one is French as well. So I got some help, even for the docs. You know, so it's a big work to translate all the docs, which is huge. In German, in English, it's me which are doing it, but it's spell checked by someone else. In French, it's another one which is doing it. It's not me, because it takes too much time to write it again. So I do it in English, then it's spell checked, then it's translated by someone else. So it's very much a community work, and unfortunately, I don't earn enough to pay them. So I at least want them to thank them here.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, even today, and in the past, I recognize those usernames from the forum still. I mean, you see them on the pin posts and constantly asking questions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of an interesting question these days, as there are lots of programming languages, but PureBasic has a relatively large community. How do you how did you go about fostering that community? You know, was it sort of on the forums? Was it just sort of over a long time of being, consistently helping folks? How do you build community around a programming language?
Yeah, it's just kind of happened like this. I'm old-fashioned, so I'm not on the social network. I'm not like this, and you are the first YouTuber which are reaching for me. But yeah, I'm kind of old-fashioned on this stuff, and the forums are really the place of meeting for PureBasic. And if you want to learn something, if you want to communicate with me immediately, you can, and I answer all the questions. You can PM me as well on the forum. So yeah, I'm not on Discord, I'm not on the meta stuff or anything, but I'm there. I'm on the forum, and it's not in real time, but you get your answer pretty quickly, often 1 day or 2 days late. It's great, and the forum, I maintain them, so I host them, I cherish them, because it's cool, and yeah, it's my community, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, I think forums are something I'm particularly fond of, because forums and news groups online is how I started to learn how to program, and I think in a way they're a great way to communicate. And Discord is great for some folks, but I personally like forums. It slows you down to think about, type out your problem, wait and be a little bit patient, so you learn that and you get a response. Sometimes it's minutes, but sometimes it's a day or two. But and it's a great way for the people helping to also learn.
And it builds a knowledge base which is still there, and you have a lot of stuff on the forum. You can search for anything, and you have a great chance to find it, because it's at the same place, and there is posts from 20 years ago which are still valid right now. So I think it's very important to have this free knowledge base which is accessible for anyone, and when you start digging, you can find some very good example or code or something, and all which is posted there stay there. So it's a very big forum right now. I think the backup is like 20 gig. So for a PHP, it's big, but yeah, you have a lot of posts, and it's 20 years, so it's going up. And as I'm hosting it, there is no problem about size limitation or something. I have my own server, so sometimes it's a bit difficult right now because of the AI crawler. You know, because they are just putting a lot of workload on the servers, just harvesting all the information to train the AI. But so I had to spend way more time than I would like to stop them. But except from that, it's great to have a common place like this, which is free to use, and when you can meet all the guys which are very strong in PureBasic, because we got some of the members which are here from 10 or 20 years and still on the cutting edge of the language. So you often have the right answer to your question, even if it's not me which are replying, because I cannot handle all the requests, of course. But it's very it's not very often when you don't get the answer you are searching for. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it's really fantastic, and you know, I even tell my students now to go look and see if they can find my posts, because I've got some posts on
Yeah.
PureBasic and other forums saying, you know, how do I do this in all caps? And
so I will look at it. And what was your login on the
I'm gonna hide right now.
I will dig that. Mike something.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me check.
I will find one. Here we'll have a good laugh.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it in the post, but
Mm-hmm.
but I have some old, you know, when I was 12, 13 years old.
Of course.
You know, and it's kind of fun to look back on too, to just see the progression. So it's it's humbling, and to see again, people are always, you know, at least for me, have been polite and take the time to answer questions. That's awesome. So,
and if it's not the case, I don't let it go anyway. So it's not often, but I sometimes remove posts or remove users if it's not the right way to communicate. Or, but it's pretty rare. It's, most of them are okay, and so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever thought about doing things like, or do folks organize meetups or conferences, or for PureBasic? Has that ever been something on your mind to do or
I
organize?
did it when I had times. We met at my family house. I think it's like maybe 10 years ago, or maybe more. So yeah, but I did that with all the people which was helping me at time. So we had a weekend all together, eating and playing on the Wii. So you know, it was like
Right.
yeah. But meeting for PureBasic, no, there is no annual meeting or something. No. But we did something with the French people one time in Paris as well, because I'm living there. So yeah, we did one evening. Except for that, there is not much real life event, because I don't have time anyway. So
Yeah. Well, it sounds, I mean, like a lot of fun getting the team together and enjoy when you can do that. So I want to shift gears just slightly from PureBasic and talk about, you know, as we get closer to the end here, but talk a little bit about SpiderBasic. And my understanding from looking at SpiderBasic, and I haven't programmed in it yet, but it's targeting, you know, web, Android, iOS, sort of mobile platforms. Can you tell me about, you know, when did the idea emerge for SpiderBasic, and when did development sort of start from it?
Yeah, so the idea was to still get a product when all the desktop will be dead, because somewhen the programming has shifted from the desktop to the mobile and the web and all this stuff. heavy desktop applications are very rare now, and it's not very a thing anymore. So even if PureBasic is cool, I guess for game, so it's not a point right now. But for the application, it's more like hybrid right now, or even all in the cloud, and you can access from anywhere. And it's software as a service, as you know, it's a big trend right now. So yeah. I was a bit worried about the future of PureBasic, so I started this one, and I was quite interested to build my own application for the mobile, and using just PureBasic was not possible because it's tied to assembly and all the desktop stuff. So we need a different product to handle mobile UI, mobile specific features, the small size of the screen, and all this stuff needed a fork, a real fork, because you cannot write once program which one on all the devices. It's not possible. So this one just creating GS, and then it's packaged with Cordova for the mobile. So it's easy to do for me, because there is no assembly involved. It's a much easier product to do, and I got all the idea, all the documentation. I keep most of the command set as well. So if you want to go from PureBasic to SpiderBasic, it's very easy to go. But there is a lot of difference in the concept as well. So you have a lot more callbacks. You are asynchronous stuff, which is not in PureBasic, so it's a bit more complicated to grab, but you can still do easily some application and game in SpiderBasic.
Yeah, that's very cool to hear. I mean, especially for long-time PureBasic users, I'm sure, to see that their knowledge transfers over.
Yeah.
But as you said, you've built the language for the right purpose, right? Mobile applications are very much async, and that's very very cool. That that's incorporated in the design, again, building the right tool for the right reasons.
Yes, sometimes you cannot do an all-in-one. I would like to do something which is very universal, like Unity did it for the game. You can write your game and run it on any platform, and it's just cool. But it's a game, so it's easier. You have only one screen, only one stuff. But yeah, there is some tools for this if you want to be platform agnostic like this. But for the UI and all this, it's much more complicated. So you need to have and I didn't want to go a full hybrid, because on the desktop I like to have something small and fast, and which don't waste all your computer resources only to display a window, because with all the hybrid apps, you basically spawn a web browser only to display a window and a button in it. So it's not very green, if you ask me.
You're right. I mean, that's I totally agree. I mean, even in the gaming space, like you said, where it's easier because you essentially just need a window with pixels. They still ship with large runtimes and do stuff like you said, like incorporate a full web browser to draw, a sprite, or just as somebody who also appreciates optimization and low-level programming, it's maddening sometimes.
Yes, but so I think it will stay like this with two different products, and I try to work on both. I still like PureBasic a bit more because it's I like all the speed stuff, all digging on the internals of the operating system, which is not the case in SpiderBasic, because you are inside a web browser basically. So you just have access to the web browser stuff and not really to all the other. So it's much easier, and bit less interesting, if I mind. But it's two products I like to work on, and I hope to spend a bit more time on SpiderBasic because it needs it. It's not very finished right now. It works, but I think we can improve it a bit more to be really easy to use.
Great. Well, I can't wait to try it out because, again, this is something I'm looking for, doing some more development myself. And as you said, there's always more to do. So I'll look forward to seeing updates on it. And I'll point folks, I'll put in some links to SpiderBasic.com and, of course, PureBasic.com. So folks should definitely check this out. So I do want to kind of watch our time here a little bit. As we're getting near the end, and kind of give you a little bit of a rapid fire of questions here.
Okay.
Just the first things that come to mind. So the first one, what's a book, a video, or an article that you've read at some point in your career that you think all programmers should read?
Yeah, this one is easy because there was a website named Joel and Software. And you really need to read the old article he wrote because it's always right now a thing. And this guy is just the guy, he get every point right, and he's still right. And in the end, he just founded Stack Overflow. So you can go on this and read all the stuff. It's very interesting, very interesting.
So, next question: advice to young programmers just getting started.
Yeah, just start, just dig it, try, learn, do something you want to do, and the biggest advice I can give, I guess, is just to share your work with something else, with someone else, even if it's not fully finished. Sometimes you need to get the feedback to get it right, because if you wait too much for a perfect version and then you put it online and then it doesn't meet any expectation from the potential user, who you have spent too much time on one part which is not useful, it could be a bit depressing. So you need someone to have the user feedback, which is the only feedback which count in the end. So even if it's not finished, do a beta, do an alpha, beta, whatever you want, but you will have much more information that you can opt for, and then you will be on the right track for the final product, because you cannot think all by yourself. It's not possible. So yeah, I think it's very important to keep this in mind. Go live.
Excellent. Next question. So you said you're a bit of a gamer.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite game you're playing now, or just a favorite all-time game, a board game or video game that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm not very original in game, I guess. My all-time games probably GTA 4. And yeah, I love Assassin's Creed. I love old-timers as well. On Amiga, I get a great souvenir with Project X, Super Frog, Alien Breed, all these old games which are very, very cool. And nowadays I'm playing right now Jedi Survivor. So you know. I played as well Indiana Jones, which was cool, and Cyberpunk is worth playing as well if you like good stories and great graphics. So yeah, I'm kind of playing everything, from role-playing game to basic shoots and maps. I play. I don't play fighting game like Street Fighter or something like that. I don't like it, but mostly all other game I play, and I like to discover this stuff. It's a bit blind right now because I think most of the game are bit like similar, so it's not as exciting as it was before, but it's maybe because I play so much game that no, it's kind of repeating itself. But I'm waiting for GTA 6.
Oh yes, much of the world is, I think.
Yeah, I'm not very original in game inside, so yeah.
I think that's an excellent list. I mean, I've got a lot of those titles that I've either played or played through. So, yeah, great to always see what folks are playing. Let's see, another question here. The first time that you saw something on the computer where you went, wow, magnifique, amazing, whatever the case. Do you have a memory?
I guess it was the Team 70 games, like I said before, because it was very much better than other games you could find on the Amiga. And every new release from this company was always a great pleasure for me, because I was always, but oh, they did this on this small computer is unbelievable, and it was crazy to see what a small team could do at time on the computer, which was very slow compared to today's, and still have a great graphics and sounds and music and gameplay. Everything was just perfect with them. So I think it's what forged me in the back of the day.
Wow, that's awesome. And I'll hope other folks, go check that out too. Maybe they'll get inspired by some things in the past.
Yeah, you can still find some game from them. You can play them through emulator, which are easy to find. WinUAR works very well for this. And I guess they are still doing some game like Worms or even X2. Or what the last game they did? Moving Out, I think, or something like this. But
Okay,
yeah, it's small game, not much revolutionary that it was in the old days, but they still around, and it's cool to see that it's a company like 30 years now, which are still doing some games.
Yeah, it's very cool to see some of these longtime studios that have been around. And even there are even new games coming out for old systems like Amiga, which is wild to me, but very cool to see folks still working on whatever systems out there.
But even the GTA guy are from old Amiga company, DMI Design, and they are still there. No, it's a Rockstar game, but it's the same folk which started it in the old day, and there is a lot of gaming company which are old. You can see ID Software, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft as well. It's most of them, I think, it's still around right now, because they could have their niche product and then have a big hit and build on it. So.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the new Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah,
and
I didn't play it yet, but there was a lot of good feedback on it. So hopefully it will sell well, because Ubisoft is not in great shape right now. So it will be great for them to have at least one big hit and get back on the feet.
Yeah, I'm hoping as well for both for our sake. So, we're both game players. The game industry picks up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Well, Fred, this has been an absolute pleasure. I know we worked for a while.
Thank you. Yeah.
Chat together. And I just want to give you. I'm going to link to your website, PureBasic and SpiderBasic, in this description. But I want to give you the last word. Anything you want the audience to know as we conclude here?
Yeah, but so thank you, Mike, for having me. It's very cool. And so it's my first interview like this, and what I can say is I will be around for a long time. So don't worry, it's an indie language, but it's a good indie language, and there will be a lot of support for the coming years. And it's been more than 25 years right now, and it will continue as long as I could. So that's it for me, I guess.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Fred. And thanks, folks, for listening.
Thank you.